guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with all these nerds today.
Nathan Nerdarchist Ted.
The triumphant return of Nerdarchist Ted. He is back from Steampunk and he's survived.
I have.
Despite me and Nate's numerous attempts on his life that he didn't even know about.
Yes, I thwarted them all.
Wahaha. We're definitely going to have you taken out with copper tubing and maybe some what are they, the old style PV tubes?
Oh yeah.
The vacuum tubes. Yeah, guns powered by that. And coils, lots of
then
coils.
you'd be a head in a jar somewhere.
So in my
Futurama style.
Yeah.
In my triumphant return, I am wearing my steampunk hat. So.
Whoa. You need some more. You need new steampunk stuff. This stuff is getting old and stale.
Well, I don't think I've worn the hat on the camera.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. We're done.
Well, I actually did get something new, or actually ordered something new at Steampunk this year. I'm getting a vest with the Nerdarchy logo emblazoned on it.
Oh, a steampunk
nice.
vest.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. It'll also make it a lot easier when I go to cons and stuff for people to
Identify you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
you gotta get the matching hat. Oh, you need the spinning Nerdarchy logo in the center. the hypno Nerdarchy logo.
The Mesmer hat or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. And of course we have our cute intern Kyle here on manning the chat. That was one of the comments, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, by one of the gentlemen in the chat. For one of or maybe on a video or one of our videos, they wanted to know where the cute intern was.
Yeah, I get a few.
Yeah. It's true. Intern Kyle is super sexy.
Mm-hmm. That's why they included me on the team.
So, Steampunk was cool. I did manage to run into one fan. I had a limited view or limited time attendance at this one. So to Jared out there, it was cool talking to you, and thanks for calling me out.
We are a little disappointed you did not tackle him.
I'm glad I wasn't tackled.
Next time, tackle him and get some of the video for us. It'll be awesome. Put it up on Vines. It'll be a thing. But we got a couple of things we need to get to. One is I want to just start off with thanks everyone who jumped on the live stream as a guest or watching. We got a list here?
We do. So last week we had Priscilla Spencer on Monday.
And she did, she's a fantasy map cartographer, so that was really cool. Go check out her website. It's not in the links in the description below, but it is on the video or on the live chat that she did. So
you can go down to that. As always, the links are down below. Tuesday we had Chris from RPG Crate, and that was a lot of fun to chat with him.
Yeah, talk some business, some RPG Crate, nerd stuff.
Not as many spoilers as I would have liked, but
he was keeping them tight to the vest.
He's like, I got secrets, man. I got secrets.
That's part of the mystery.
I feel like he gave us one exclusive thing on Nerdarchy, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, they'll have to go
towards
watch
the very end.
They'll have to go watch and find out.
Yeah, no skipping to the end.
Was Jim Moreno?
Moreno, yeah.
Moreno from Geek and Sundry.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty prolific. He's got a ton of articles he's put up. He's also starting a new business. It's Power Word Pub is the business, and he's specifically doing editing for RPGs. So if you're in the market to put out some RPG stuff and you want your stuff edited by a professional, go check him out.
And then Thursday was Derek Shomer,
I think it is, yeah.
And from Common Man Cocktails.
Yeah, so he's got a pretty successful YouTube channel about making drinks, essentially. He used to be a computer programmer, and he's into World of Warcraft. He's like, I think I still have my first edition book still. He doesn't currently game, but he used to.
Right.
And so we were able to talk about nerdy cocktails, and there's actually 3 or 4, I think it's 3 recipes in the description to that video. I don't remember what they are. I just remember putting them there. I know one of them is a sonic screwdriver.
Nice.
So you'll have to go check it out to see what the other one is.
And then next week we actually have some people that we're a little bit more closely affiliated with. Monday we have Scott from Chartopia, who's also one of our staff writers.
Yeah, he's an in and out staff writer, and Chartopia is this cool program him and his partner put together, and basically you can use it to make all kinds of random charts. Push a button and it'll spit things out. There's charts within the charts, and they also have a ton of them that are already there. It's all kind of open source. And also we kind of worked out a deal with them that we're getting some private charts that will be up on our Patreon, and the only place to get them will be there. So we'll have some, Nerdarchy exclusive Chartopia goods.
Nice. Tuesday from Cardboard Fortress is Anthony Amato, who's also one of the goblins from Dave's Game.
Yeah, so they've put out quite a few games that are really cool. They've had 2 successful Kickstarters so far.
Resistor and Laser Riders.
Right now, Anthony is doing the design work, some freelance design work, and it's for a Kickstarter that's currently going on. So I'm sure we're going to talk about it. And it's Honeycombs or something like that. It's something. Is it Bear Miners? Miner Bears? Something. I checked it out. The art's kind of cool. It's like a family style game.
Nice.
I'm sure we're going to talk about that amongst all the other stuff they do.
Right. Wednesday, we're going to have people from Absolute Tabletop coming on. Do we know who that is just yet?
It is a mystery to me. I don't know how many of them are coming on, and which one members are coming on. They're doing a Kickstarter right now. It's already kicked. They're like kicking ass over there. Like they had this teeny tiny kind of goal of $500,
yeah.
and they're at like 15,000 the last time I checked. They're closing in.
They're like, we're going to make this happen no matter what, and that's kind of what I saw from that.
Well, it's their one of their adventure kits, and I can't remember the name of it. It's Frozen something.
Oath of the.
Oath of the Frozen King.
I would say king.
But we could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, the link to that Kickstarter is down below as well.
The
So-
link,
yeah,
the
so
link
you can
will
check
not
it out.
lie.
I don't know. We backed it. We're gonna get ours. I don't know about you, but yeah, so it's pretty good deal. It's like I think for $50 you get like 100 PDFs or something,
yeah,
and the product.
it's like 18, I think.
Oh, that's close. They're numbers. They're both numbers.
Check it out in the link below to make sure.
Yeah, take Nerdarchy's Dave's word for nothing. Double fact check for sure. Fake news. Fake news here.
And then Thursday is Pete Brett, who we've gamed with many, many times. And
Yeah. He does some streaming over on YouTube and Twitch for like video gameplays and Hearthstone stuff like that. He's the other half of Forge Dragons. He's also done podcasting with That's Life Podcast, and he also does music and stuff like that. Actually, you actually hear his work every time you play a Nerdarchy video. He kind of we went and bought music for our videos, and then he kind of like remixed it.
So if you go back to the very early session, I think maybe 1 and maybe 2 of Dave's campaign, he was Tom Conway.
Yeah, no, he was in more than 2 sessions. I'm fairly certain. He might be in like half a dozen. We're up to like session 27 now.
Yeah, I just feel like it's been forever since he's gamed with us. So.
Dude, he could have been in 12 sessions, and it would still be over a year since you've seen him. So
I know.
so that's why it would feel like that. So it'll be me, Ted, and Pete will be talking about D&D and other nerdy stuff on Thursday. So, and the other thing I want to bring up with the live chats too, like I noticed, like generally if I'm having them, like at least 50 people will just show up, which is really cool. Because when we started out, it was like 20 or 30, and the number keeps creeping up. But if we get somebody on who they're more familiar with, the number shoots up by quite a bit, double easily. Listen, guys, when I try and get people to come on to the live chats, I go, hey, are they doing something cool that I'm interested in? And then I try and get them on the show. So chances are, if I'm interested in what they're doing, you're going to be interested too. I'm not going to bring just anybody on. I want people that are going to be talking about gaming and the nerdy stuff that we're into.
I hear you. So that's the live chats. So of course Fridays right now is our Open Legends sponsored games, and it's totally kicking ass.
Yeah, we want to thank all the sponsors really, because we have Open Legends as one of our sponsors. We have Easy Roller Dice. They've been giving us product support for a long time now, and actually they've been officially a sponsor of ours for the past like 2 months now. And then the newest one is armorclass10.com, which is nerdy gaming shirts, which are really cool. Don't dress like an NPC.
Sure.
So we want to thank all of our sponsors, and we want to thank our patrons for being patrons, especially after YouTube kind of like crushed us. I went back over the last 3 months just to look at the numbers. I'm like,
It's hideous.
we're doing like around the same, a little bit better, a little bit less sometimes. But that being said, like for the past 3 months, money-wise, we've done way better. So
It's about a 30% loss.
yeah, well, 20. I would say 20. Well, maybe. I don't know. You math better than me. But anyway, it's the patrons and the sponsors right now that have me going, not saying fuck this, and just going back to work, because otherwise I probably would have to. Because we literally had our best 3 weeks with Nerdarchy after I told my boss to not call me back. And then, after that, best 3 weeks, then boom, we got slammed for like a 20%, and all the other numbers are like the same or better. So that's the part that's really annoying about that. It's not like you guys are watching less or we're getting less subscribers. We're just getting less money for the same amount of work.
Right.
Or actually for more work.
So that's true. Because we did start the live chats.
Yeah. Which I'm having fun with them. It's another way to interact with you guys, and also for me to hang out with cool new people that I haven't met before, and it really does force me to get out there and meet more nerds doing cool stuff.
Absolutely. So as always, we're always willing to take suggestions for who you want to see on those live chats, but equally as important, if you tweet at them or email them and say, hey, these Nerdarchy guys are doing live chats, why don't you get onto them, so that when we contact them or that they contact us, it makes it so much smoother. Also, if there's something that you've been on the fence about whether or not you want to join Patreon, if there's something that you'd like to see us do over there, let us know, because maybe that'll push you over the fence, and we get you what you want. You support us. Win-win for everybody.
So I would like to point out too that Mike Gould just celebrated a year of doing Out of the Box Encounters.
Yesterday's article.
Yeah, yesterday's article, and there's a full adventure in there, right? Isn't that what I've heard the rumor of?
That is the rumor. That's what I read this morning.
So you guys can go download that for free at nerdarchy.com. And as always, all of the links are in the description for everything we did last week, as well as if there's RPG related Kickstarters going on, Ted always shares those as well.
Yeah, the ones that I find, I grab and I put in there. Sometimes there's stuff that's like, well, how is this RPG related? It could be gaming products, it could be board games that just have a nice crossover or whatever have you. So I always toss those in there. If it's an interest to me, it might be an interest to you guys.
Perhaps. We also announced too I announced it on one of the live chats, and I kind of tweeted out, but so we've been tapped by Open Legend to kind of be like their booth girls. So apparently they couldn't get real models and they got Nerdarchy instead. So we're going to be hanging out at PAX Unplugged with Brian Feaster of Open Legend and helping out with his booth. So that should be pretty cool. I'm not sure, but I think we're expected to run games at the table.
Oh,
by the way.
Oops, that would be nice to know.
Yeah. So I
course.
think he wants us to run Open Legend for the most part, but but he accepts that we may also run some D&D.
So if we're doing the booth girl thing, are we finally gonna get Nate in a bonnet?
Bikini.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see Nate in a bonnet and bikini? Let us know in the comments.
There is no relevancy between the desire and the actual reality of that happening. Just saying. Sorry to disappoint.
There's got to be a price for that. There's got to be a price.
It's pretty high.
You heard him, $50. I would totally do it for $50. $50 is $50.
There you go.
You put on a model a bikini? And
Sure,
just put
why
it
not?
As Kyle is trying to hold in a laugh.
Any questions over there, Kyle? Anybody?
No, not really. We're all having
It's
our own
like,
conversations.
Please give me a question.
Oh, God, I need a question.
So Steampunk, is it Wayward Leather?
Wayward Leather, that's right.
So Steampunk, Ted always runs into these people from Wayward Leather, and they sell cool stuff. And this time they gave us something to give away. Apparently, when we mentioned them on our show, you guys go over and check them out and maybe even buy stuff. So this is going to be a future giveaway. We don't know when, but we're going to hang on to him for a little while.
Yeah, we want to.
Right now, we're fostering him.
So
Mimics need love too.
Yeah, so this is Strum. Anything that Mel makes that has a face gets a name. And I've shared my con bag or whatever.
It looks like a messenger bag to me.
Right.
But yeah.
So that is Ludlow. He's awesome. I always have to cart him around. Well, so now Ludlow has a friend for a little while, so they get to hang out and chill here in Ted's basement. But
Until we give him to one of you guys.
indeed.
On the plus side, he's fairly light too, so if he goes overseas, we'll be able to afford it.
Do we have an issue over there, Kyle?
Joseph Hugolani wants to know, do you guys make your own steampunk gear?
I do not. I find I get much better stuff if I just
Buy it.
purchase from awesome vendors. So I have an ever growing ensemble that I wear to steampunk. And as I said off camera, I got an awesome new vest that I'll be wearing next time.
I've never actually been to Steampunk yet, so perhaps one day. I have all kinds of amazing steampunk things inside my head. But I doubt I'm going to make any of them.
I have a whole bunch of gears that probably need something to do.
Just glue them to a vest or something. So get an old duster and glue them to that. That'd be awesome.
Gear buttons.
No, everywhere. It's just all
It's
over it.
everywhere.
Random spots. What does that do? I don't know.
But I think it would be pretty cool to cast some gear buttons out of pewter or something like that. But
You could absolutely do it. Or make them, interlock them all so they can spin and put them on. You'd have to like do a rivet or something.
oh yeah,
That'd be a lot of work.
So like the whole that kid's cog.
Yeah. You can crank the jacket and make them all go.
I think
One
that-
crank, you move one crank and they all just like jam. And you're stuck in one position.
like pinch you and like, oh.
Blood everywhere. So I don't know. Have people been watching the Open Legend game, Other Skies? Anybody watching that? Are they digging it? Because I'm having fun running it, and my players seem to be having fun. And the most important thing to me was like,
when you made Bunny, collapse into puddle of useless crying.
well, that part was that did warm my heart a little bit. But even better was putting the weird scars on Bunny.
Yeah, he's gonna.
So far, I've got like 3 of the 5 players scarred, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or physically. But I think I need to do that to really convey the eldritch horror of what's going on.
I ran with it.
That's a step. That's an intermediate step in between regular people and gibbering madness.
Yeah. So what I need to probably do, question?
It looks like Faith's fiance wants to know, do you guys make your own maps for campaigns? If so, do you draw them by hand or do you use a program for it?
Well, let's see. There's Nerdarchy of today, and there's the pre-Nerdarchy. I used to actually use programs, hand draw them, but it was nothing spectacular. That's just me scribbling on some graph paper. Anymore, we kind of do everything like theater of the mind, and sometimes I might sketch out a little map in my notebook that's not like on grid paper or anything. It's just like gives me an idea of what's there, what's going on.
The time it takes to hand draw a specific map is more time than I would actually put into a dungeon design. So if I can't quickly find a map that I like online via just dungeon map or go to one of the many programs that are out there, if I can't find it within a couple of minutes, it's totally just all right. I'll design it on the fly and voila.
Yeah, I feel like too nowadays, like with the resources of the internet, like chances are I'm not going to make a map as good as something I can find. Like someone has a better idea I haven't thought of yet, so I can go out there.
There are programs out there that you can literally just filter in the information that you feel is important. Number of rooms, number of levels, whatever have you. You click the button and it just populates for you. I don't feel there's a need to go through the process of designing exactly what you want. Unless you're into that.
Unless
go for it. And go for it and have fun. But that's not my time frame.
I'm currently working on a map for my Aegis Isle campaign, the pay-to-play game that I'm working on, but I haven't drawn a map in a while.
Nerdarchy's first professional dungeon master.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
That's also something. Maybe we should do a video on that, professional dungeon mastering. Andrew Armstrong over at DFC had recently did a live chat on it, basically taking very specific questions about being a professional dungeon master. I think I watched like half of it. I got like halfway through it. It's like an hour. And then I had to actually do work and stuff. But and I guess I saw that he was doing it, forgot about it, and then I was reminded when Scott Garibay kind of did a video about it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go watch it. And I started watching. I still have to watch the other half of it. And when Scott Garibay does not disappoint, he makes bold claims.
That's true.
with conviction as always, and I love it. It's really good.
He can't be Scott Garibay without doing that kind of
I know he's like even Nerdarchy is not professional dungeon masters. I proclaim Andrew Armstrong is the first. At first I did not agree, but I had to reassess it, and he is the first. And it's true. I call myself a professional nerd.
Yes.
So there's that.
Connor Powers wants to know, do you guys have any general tips on making custom classes?
Custom classes is rough. The first thing I would ask is, can you do the concept with the things that are already there? If you can, don't do it. If it can be fit into an archetype, between background archetype, so race, I would always go and feats. I would always go that direction first. I think there's a reason for the limited number of classes within 5th edition. So you really have to have a good reason for stepping out of the 14 or so classes that they've got access to.
Along that same line, if it already exists or you can figure out how the power already exists as somebody else's ability, look to that and the level of the power if you're going to make your own custom class.
Yeah, we're really lazy when it comes to our gaming. Is what it comes down to. Like, we look for the easiest, simplest way to do the thing, and we start with the question of, well, why do you want to do the thing, right? And from there, then we determine, like, is it a flavor you're going for? And if that's the case, can we do that by combining things that already exist? Is the first place we would go before we'd ever even consider creating something wholly new. And then before going to a whole new class, be like, well, can it just be done with an archetype where you have to come up with like 3 abilities? That would be like our next step. And then from there, it's like create a new class. Like, and I haven't really felt the need to do it. Like even like a gunslinger, I'm like, that's a battle master with some tweaks. I don't know.
Yeah, I think D&D or Watts, they put out the Mystic, they put out the Artificer, and I think those things are things that are necessary if you're going to do Eberron. I think if they're going to do Dark Sun, they might say, well, how do we twist to do Templar, or what kind of access does Defiling do? But those might just be archetypes. They might be something that's different, or just hey, this is the overall template that has to be applied to the wizard sorcerer classes when you're doing one or the other.
Or it could be an augmentation of a rule that already exists. So defiling could just be the defiling effect happens, and you're allowed to pump for free a spell up to a certain amount of levels.
Exactly.
Yeah, or like, it going along those lines, like a Templar might just be a warlock now.
Yeah.
It literally fits the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might make a cleric, squeeze it into squeeze it into cleric.
So those are all different things, but I rarely come across an idea that would make me decide I need this to be its own class. And I encounter people in the 5th edition D&D group and other places that they're like, I want to make a new class. And my first question is, why?
Even the psionics that I designed well before they brought out the Unearthed Arcana Mystic, I based off the Sorcerer class, and it was simply an augmentation of the archetype.
Oh, how'd you do that? It never does that for me.
You just start typing in a name.
Oh, really? It's never done that for me. I've
I
always
usually have to put at.
Yeah, if you do @Ben and then it comes up
never
for the whole thing.
Son of
Let's see.
the interwebs hates
Well,
me.
you have to spell the name right.
Oh,
And you do have to pause.
I copy and paste.
And you do have to pause long. Oh, well, if you do the full thing, I found that it doesn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just delete a couple of letters.
Yeah, and it'll
Which is
pop up.
usually popular.
Yeah. Or start over.
We're slowly figuring this out as we go, guys.
All right, let's
Arthur DeLuca wants to know, if there was a homebrewed island that the Dragonborn race lived on, would you guys talk about what type of stuff would be on it, like landmarks or history? How would you guys make a Dragonborn island in your campaign?
Well, it would depend upon what in that world the Dragonborn culture would be. Typically, Dragonborn do things related to dragonkind, but every world is going to be different. It's really how you want to flavor them, how thematic you want them to be. They could be as tribal as barbarians, or they could be as civilized as any other race that's out there.
That stuff's going to depend, I think, on the island size. So if you have a small island, you're not going to be able to have the amount of nutrients and flora and fauna available to support a large population. So if you have a tiny island and they've got a fish and that's about it for their stuff, then you're going to have a small tribal group. And if you have a small tribal group, you're not going to have like blacksmitheries and politicians and all that kind of stuff, except you might have like one of each. And it's harder to pass down knowledge when you can't have more and more people do specialized skills instead of trying to survive due to like foraging for food and stuff. So if you have a big island that's almost like a, I don't know, like a New Zealand or something like that size area, then you're going to have the higher ability to have civilization up to and including like city-state stuff.
Forget all that. Fire dancers, grass skirts, tikis. I'm definitely I'm feeling a Hawaiian theme here. Some Islander action going on.
Luau.
And if you don't, luau maybe, yeah. And if you don't want to do that, right, there's going to be a dragon emperor, and there's going to be like 3 conclaves, and you're going to fit into either the warrior conclave or the conclave of knowledge, or it could be the conclave of faith and spiritualism, possibly. And they're going to have this epic city that's got really cool architecture. And no one's going to be living there but Dragonborns. There might be some dragons out there. They're going to ride Tranthers, and the knights are going to ride War Tranthers. But, just off the top of my head, it'd probably do something like that. Why are you looking at me funny?
No, I always look at you.
We actually did that in our world. We separated the Dragonborn from the rest of the world. And my campaign started off with introducing the Dragonborn into the world from their own isolated realm, which could be like an island, right? Floating through the ether.
Instead of it being an island, it's a demiplane.
Yeah.
Which you could just, if you move the island far enough away, then or make it really hard to get to, then it's there, bam.
And then I also introduced the idea that there's these, Dragonborn barbarian tribes as well. So it was a mix.
Fun.
Did that come from me wanting to just play a barbarian, or you're like, oh, I'll put them in there?
Maybe. At this point, I have no idea. It's canon.
Yeah.
It happens.
That happens sometimes when you have early players play something.
Somebody's like, I want to do this. Okay, let's make it happen.
It's done. My own. Pretty flexible like that. It stops me from having to think of a lot of stuff. Oh, you know what I read? I think it was Perkins that said it. 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons does not have dragon boobs.
That's right.
That's amazing.
It has been confirmed. 4th edition Dragonborn, dragon boobs. 5th edition Dragonborn, no
flat as a board. Yes.
They are lizard folk. They have lizard folk bodies. Done and done. Somebody commented on
I don't know. Do we know? Do they lay eggs though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would assume so.
They should.
I have to ask them another question.
So, somebody commented on Facebook. It's like, this is going to make Ted sad. I'm like, but Dave's the one that's got a problem with the dragon boobs. I think it makes Dave happy. I could care less.
No. My campaign has been successful. You guys, that section at DMG for spreading rumors? I've successfully done that about Nerdarchist Ted and his love for dragon boobs.
He rolled high on the crowding table.
I did. I spent a lot of money.
Spending money and time and effort on the rumors.
Yeah, that's what I do with my free time. I don't know if you guys do yours. Look at my checklist. What's the number one? Oh, make sure the internet knows Ted loves dragon boobs. Check. Sorry, I didn't mean to grab your hand. Now I got it. Your hands are cold, man.
I know. As cold as ice. The ice drink I'm drinking isn't helping.
Scratch Paper Games wants to know, what happens when the Griffin Gaff campaigns retire their characters? They're getting up there in level these days. Will there be another campaign?
Nope, Nerdarchy will be done.
Yeah, it's like the Doom counter ticking down.
Ted's campaign came in with Nerdarchy, and it will leave with Nerdarchy.
No, actually,
like a comet.
I'm a little sad. Bloodfang is leaving us. Alan's leaving us, so Bloodfang is going to have to retire. So I have to talk to him and be like, "How do you want to retire? Do you want to retire a hero, or do you want to go out in a blaze of glory?"
I want to rip the ice gem out and put it into Anthony's crossbow.
Never.
I know it's probably a permanent thing, and he's gonna take all his magical gear, and
he does have like the most magical sword, like the most magical item in like probably our whole campaign.
Yes,
I'm pretty close. Well, it's not quite the book, I don't think. The book is pretty cool. Yeah, but it's owned by an NPC, so it doesn't matter. You just have to murder him and take it.
Yeah. So what are we thinking about stopping?
Well, I mean,
20th level.
you guys have already discussed, plans for at some point in time actually questing into the Hells and go tackle the Bloodlord Narcitus. So I imagine that's the campaign finale, similar to in your game tackling the Imperium.
Yeah.
So like those are going to be the epic, climactic battles that will end the game, and after that, those characters retire, and then we do the D&D shuffle of who's running and who's running what.
Yeah. Oh, what's going to end up happening? Both parties are going to lose in the end, and then the world is going to be the world of Griffcraft will be consumed by Vargarians, and the demon hordes from the abyss. So we'll have Vargarian demons, and that's all that'll be left.
The demonic warforged.
Yeah.
Next campaign is the war between the Vargarians and the Bloodlords.
Oh,
There
yeah,
we
there you go.
We can play a neutral.
It is written, it shall be so. Yeah, so the plan is to take, I don't know, though. It's taken us 2.5 years to get to 12th, 13th level. So we still have some time to go yet, I think.
Well, my group, I believe, is 14th level.
Oh, yeah, we just leveled up to 14th. And
So we have that game tonight. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I got some neat ideas that I want to do, and we'll see how that winds up transpiring. I got a number of players that will be MIA from tonight, so it'll be the first time.
most of them.
It'll be the first time in a while that I'm actually running with a normal sized group
Yeah, it's like no Scott, no Mark,
and no Kyle.
and no Kyle.
I think for my next game session, there's like 3 people available. So I was going to start recruiting.
We got no Ryan either.
That's
Yeah.
like pre-Nerdarchy levels there.
Yeah. That is like pre-Nerdarchy levels. Yeah, but I haven't even tried to get an extra player. Of the 6, 3 are not available. And which at any given time you figure if Anthony's not available, chances are Nicole aren't available because they do a lot of traveling with Cardboard Fortress and cons and stuff like that.
Oh, are they not able to show up?
Yes. But and I don't think Todd is weighed in, so
Oh, we'll have to find out what's going on there.
listen, it's Relian and Bloodfang. You guys should be fine. I mean, like, sorry, Ted. Bloodfang chose to go out in a blaze of glory.
Reliant soul survival. You
No,
can get that badge.
no. If Bloodfang goes down, I die.
Like a spell contingency plan or something? Like a love pact? Like what?
Because
Because I'm pretty sure Expeditious Retreat, or you better.
No. What happens is Bloodfang is as he dies gets gappy or whatever. Relian just totally missed, just blood mist.
Like he was actually like the smart part of Bloodfang's brain.
Yeah. Although Bloodfang's intelligence might be close to his anyway.
No,
Maybe
I
he's so
actually think,
smart he had to split
I
it
actually
actually
think
into 2
I
personalities.
think he's got like a 14.
Yeah.
So
Don't you have like a
I'm
16? Yeah, it's close.
Okay.
It's only one modifier difference.
That's true.
Renee Henkel wants to know, how would you handle a story with a character who only seems to show up at every 2nd to 3rd session?
You know what? I don't worry about it. I ignore it, to be honest with you, because what I discovered is if I always worry about all my players showing up for every session, we don't play. So you have to decide what's important to you.
So there's 3 ways to look at this. Number 1, as Dave says, don't worry about it. You can either do a little bit of work and explain a reason for the player's absence, or you could literally just completely gloss over the fact that a player is missing, and you just keep the story rolling, and whoever is there is there. End of story. You're not writing a novel. You're not playing this epic story that every little crucial detail matters.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
Have fun with the game. That's what we're doing. Honestly, role-playing games come down to make believe with rules. So have fun with it.
One of the things we've done in our own games is try and make each session episodic so that we start the session, we end the session, so we can have a new session. Basically, they're just not there. They're doing something else. You don't have to worry about it. More recently, we had like these longer quest arcs, where that does come up, and we just kind of like gloss over it, or, sometimes I'll just come up with something weird and throw it in there, and it's pretty improbable, but the players just kind of go with it
because it's fun or amusing, and it makes for a good story. And that's part 2. If you make it episodic, where you always start and end in a town,
it's never an issue.
It's never an issue because it's very easy to be like, oh, well, he's going to go off and do this, or this character It's like, well, I got to go check in with so and so, and you could literally turn those things into more quests, subplots that come back into the story at some point in time, probably when that character comes back, and you have fun with it. The other side, or the third option, is honestly to worry and figure out a serious story reason why characters disappear and reappear. Or you have to say, well, forget it. If everybody else doesn't show up, I'm not playing.
I'm sure as a GM you don't have enough work to do already. So yeah, you can do that.
That whole thing of if everybody doesn't show, I'm not running. That used to be my standpoint, and it annoyed the players. It's like, well, why can't we just run without this person or without that person?
Well, yeah, it becomes punishment for the rest of the group that
Right.
does normally show up.
Exactly.
And you just ruined their Saturday night or whatever night you guys normally game on.
So Dave had a character like this, and in one of our games in ages past, and it was going to be, hey, I'm going to show up when I can. And literally, we found this disc, and whoever touched it first, which was usually the player who is always there, which happened to be me, it was implanted to me. Like, I couldn't get rid of it. If I dropped it on the ground, it would show up in my bag. So I've got a cursed item. Every so often, the cursed item would jingle
Spit out
and shake,
somebody.
and it would spit out this character. And it was amusing that, okay, when Steve showed up, this dwarf, popped out of my bag, popped out of this item. And it was amusing, it was cool, and it made sense for that kind of character. Now, if you have to do this for every single character that person plays, it's going to get frustrating, but it's a way to actually have the story moving on, and if that character's there, you got them. If it's not, you don't have to worry about it.
I play in a Twitch stream game on Tuesday nights, and what Timmy does is there's a ruby in possession of the party, and whoever isn't there gets shunted into the ruby for the session, or until they come back, or whatever. Or sometimes I guess he doesn't want to or doesn't feel comfortable with changing the encounters, so he'll NPC the character for fights and stuff. But for the most part, a lot of times they just get put into the gem. Has been the way he's handling it. And here's the thing too, like, even if you do the episodic thing and like all your players are like you'll do that, and then all of your players will show up all the time, right? But the instant you break from that and go for like a longer arc, they'll fuck you. Just be warned. It's the way it goes.
So those are some things. I would just go with a more casual play style and just not worry about it at all.
What if they're creating art, man?
Suspension of disbelief. That's an art thing.
Yeah. So yeah, like, you worry about it as much as you want to is what it comes down to. There's never going to be a perfect or easy solution, especially when you're playing with adults that have busy lives and things going on. Kids get sick, spouses get sick, people go in the hospital, vacations happen, work things happen. It's all part of gaming.
Yeah, it's not like you're in college where you can, always have weekends off to do whatever it is that you want.
Like work.
Yeah.
Well,
If you guys want to start the roll call, we can do that, and we can show you what we're going to give away next.
absolutely. So, as always, we give away something once a month. So, the last of our things from Cool Mini or Not, baby. It's a game literally called Play Me. And then from Dogmite, we have this awesome
Dragon Sheath.
spot for dice and a character, magnetic closure.
Yeah,
Let me just see both parts of the.
it's very magnetic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
As Nate is like, oh, I'm gonna.
We'll have to think of something else.
Yeah, these are pretty sweet. They're really carved. This is like the demon one. I don't know how well you can see the detail there, but it's pretty sweet.
I like the sword.
Cool sword. I don't know if it's an orc face or a demon face, but either way, it's pretty freaking cool.
So all players are pursuing the white rabbit to try and leave Wonderland. Strategy, agility, and reflexes are key in this wacky game. Cool Mini or Not. Play Me.
Yeah, it's got a pretty strong magnet too. In a
Oh, yeah.
pinch, this could definitely fill in as an impulse clamp.
Yeah, you definitely want to slide it apart instead of trying to yank it apart. Nice.
So, first week of June, we will announce who gets this. You have to be a Patreon member or Patreon supporter, or you can go to the contest page and fill out the Patreon specific thing and get that to us.
Well, the giveaway
Yeah.
specific form for the giveaway, which if you're a patron, you're automatically entered. Everyone else has to fill out the form and send it in. That's the way it works.
Indeed.
We do not have Patreon giveaways. That is not a thing.
Yes, nor is this connected anyway from to YouTube, except that we're putting it on YouTube.
yeah, pretty much. So don't send us to jail, please.
We just want to give people free stuff.
Yeah, they make it hard. No love. How's that roll call going?
We got a few people in here. It looks like we got Fraginator from Washington State, Scratch Paper Games, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Comic Book University, Gamma Base, New Mexico,
Nice.
That's kind of believable.
Joseph Hukaloni, Honolulu, Hawaii,
Nice.
Renee Henkel, My Apartment in Denmark,
Yay, Denmark.
Nice.
Steve
Oh,
Waterman,
I like
Illinois.
international stuff.
Mystics, Norway, Kurt, Tennessee, and Rudy Poo from Ted's Master Bathroom.
From Ted's master bathroom.
No.
We haven't built the master bathroom yet.
The chat's coming from inside the house.
From the future.
Yeah, from the
Wow,
future.
he's chatting in from the future.
Your future looks great.
Excellent.
Master bathroom.
How many people we got on today?
We are at 38 right now.
Score. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us on a Saturday afternoon. It's really rainy and dreary here in New Jersey today.
So was it Renee who was in Hawaii? How's the weather there?
That was Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. Okay.
Yeah. Was
I miss
Renee Renee was in Norway, right?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Oh.
Damn it. I knew it was Scandinavian.
I'm just not going to guess any names of places.
The fear of being wrong.
I'm wrong all the time. I mean, I'm married and I'm friends with Dave, so
You're
I'm
boned.
boned.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
You can be married to Dave.
Yeah, that would definitely be worse.
Oh, man.
And before that conversation gets creepy, do we have any other questions over there, Kyle?
Arthur DeLuca.
There is no saving you.
Arthur DeLuca wants to know, would you guys talk about one of the other character builds that you mentioned was tied for in your Farmer to Fighting Man video for the Patreon builds, or is that saved for a future video?
Oh, that was the ties. Like the ties were. We could literally do that as a future video, but I think I understand what he's saying because we had 2 3-way ties. So all right, so maybe we should give some context for you guys in case you don't know what we're talking about. So we did like 3 polls over on Patreon, and from that we came up with a Dwarven Rogue Outlander. Right, that was the first character build we did, and we're like, well, maybe we should take the runner-up. And we're like, that's a great idea. What's the runner-up? And then it's like a fighter, and then
the class solidly was fighter, but then we had a tie between human, half elf, and elf, and then a tie between
hermit, folk hero, soldier.
folk hero, and soldier.
Yes. So really, it would just be like mixing up those variables and coming up with another character build, which we may very well do. Also, too, if you guys have like suggestions for characters builds you want us to do, you can send them to nerdarchy@gmail.com. Someone had sent one over to, I think, the Facebook page. And whenever anymore, if you message us on Facebook and say, hey, can you do this or do that? The response you're generally going to get from me is, can you email us at Gmail for that? Because we can like put things in a folder and keep things neat. Facebook eventually is going to get pushed down. I'm going to forget about it. It'll be as if it never existed.
When we sit down to record, or technically when I sit down to say, okay, well, what is on our to-do list for recording? Going to the email is usually my go-to to see, okay, what things are out there, what video suggestions, what GM901s.
Yeah. Well, plus it's just easier because we can put it in folders and just save stuff.
Exactly.
Otherwise, and here's the thing: like if you're messaging us and I'm seeing it, I can be, I'm more than half the time I'm looking at it on my phone. So then it's like the best thing I can do on my phone is probably like screenshot it, but then I end up with all these screenshots all over, so it gets lost.
The screenshot typically gets shared to me to say, hey, Ted, put this on the list.
Yeah, on a good day. And I share something embarrassing, like, oh, you weren't supposed to see that. No, it hasn't happened yet.
It makes me fearful.
That's not wood.
Now I'm afraid for the future.
What rule is that? rule.
I just think Rule 34. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is it.
Given how wacky some of our fans are, I'm afraid of what they might do with Rule 34.
Yeah, you should be afraid. Well, it's like
Cringe on Kyle.
it's like when someone asked, they asked me, what did they ask me? I've been asked this more than once too. They're like, how do centaurs breastfeed? Which set of nipples do they use? And I'm like, oddly enough, this is not the first time I've been asked this by a fan.
Well, it's like the dragon boobs things. It's just like the hierarchy of questions.
I don't think anyone's actually asked us about dragon boobs.
Well, we ask people about
People
ask us about centaur nipples, breastfeeding stuff.
Typically, if horses get out,
We weren't answering the question here. We were just saying we never asked it. Leave some of the mystery.
Yeah. They roll their polyhedrals to see which ones they use.
No.
Right? What is it? That would be 10?
The dice know.
That'd be 10. They just roll a d10.
Yeah, the dice know. So
See what happens when you guys don't ask questions? We just talk about whatever pops in our little brains.
Well, Kurt wants to know if you guys have any thoughts on D&D Beyond thus far.
You know what? I opened up the beta. I have the beta. I looked at it a little bit, and then I haven't been back to it in a while. I guess I'm waiting for more functionality so I can play with it. I like what I've seen so far. I have no idea if they've changed anything since the last time I looked at it, though, which was weeks ago.
I know they're occasionally going through the phases to add more stuff into the beta. I'm not sure what phase they're at now. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I don't know either. I bet Kurt knows.
I asked it. He said he doesn't know.
Oh, okay. Which Kurt is it?
Just Kurt.
I am
Just Kurt.
hopeful. It's looking good so far.
Honestly, if they do with it what they do with 4th edition, I'll be pleased. That would make me happy. I would pay $10 a month or whatever to have a character builder, and because right now my character's a bunch of scratch marks because I haven't gone in and updated them. Actually, I had this weird problem with my PDF reader anyway. For some reason, the character sheets are all goofy.
Huh.
I probably should go buy that one on RPG Drive-Thru. And I think the intern's doing research.
I do work eventually.
Woo! Let's all just stare at Kyle now.
I'm trying to read the chat.
Best live stream.
Oh, you're trying to read the chat from
Yes.
there? You need binoculars.
No, I just need to have my sonic power activate.
There's not too much going on in the chat here.
It's not working.
They're just talking to each other. It's the usual.
It looks like King Melon Gaming wants to know, why do people prefer the Great Axe over the Great Sword as a barbarian? He thought the 2d6 would be better for damage rather than a d12.
Thematically, axes are useful for more than just killing. So therefore, as a barbarian who has limited amounts of stuff, you have a weapon that can kill, and you have a weapon that can be a tool.
There's statistically speaking, you're going to have higher average damage with 2d6, but you're going to have max damage more often with a Great Axe. Because you only have to roll a 12 compared to rolling 2 6s.
Mm-hmm. You're also, when you crit as a barbarian, you add that extra die as a d12, not an additional d6.
Yeah, so you do a little bit better there as well. The half orc ability, is that the same way? No.
So the half orc ability is that way.
So if you're a half orc, you definitely want to be using a Great Axe and
Yes.
not the Great Sword, because you get burned a little bit. But overall, Great Sword is going to do more damage on average. You're going to do max damage more often with the Great Axe. The Great Axe is more thematic, and come on, it is the only use for the D12 in the game. We need to show it some love.
But you get those class.
They become a monk.
No. No, they stop it at D10.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Third edition, they went to the 12 and the 20.
Well, yeah, I knew that it went to the 20 and 3rd edition.
But no, it stops at the D10. No, but the
Sure, it goes to show what I know.
every once in a while I have the ability to correct you. But the if you want to roll your class randomly, there's 12 classes.
There is that. Maybe that's why they stopped at 12. They're like, it is the perfect number to give this useless die a use. Let's stop.
I've actually got because it's dice and because I'm stupid, I've got the die roll for the class die.
Is that Rory's or is that a different one?
I believe it's a different one.
Yeah, I think it is too. There's the Rory story cubes. They're a good tool for like building adventures and coming up with ideas and brainstorming.
So you got the alignment dice and the class die and the background die. What am I playing? There you go.
I feel like it's been forever since Watts has announced anything.
It looks like Tree Harold wants to know if you guys have any tips on very extensive campaigns. It looks like his players get into the same campaign for months or maybe years, and he wants some ideas or tips, anything that you guys could help him with.
Well, there's 2 very long campaigns that have been run on our channel.
Yeah, honestly, like so the biggest thing that, and it's something like newer that we've been doing, and that is like let them build the game with you. So like in the beginning, like especially if you're talking about from the beginning standpoint of, letting your players take some agency and help you build the world and incorporates, some of their ideas. I think that helps, gives more buy-in, and is going to also kind of like plant story seeds for them to unravel as the campaign goes on.
Yeah, I would say based on session 0, you're going to want to kind of create some story arcs off of player input on what because if you can get them to basically say what kind of game they want to play and what kind of interest they have, either like someone has like a lost master they're looking for, or someone's been wronged by someone, or someone's being chased by somebody who wants either revenge or whatever, or they want an object the person stole. All those kind of things can lead into different villains and story hooks. So rather than just make up all your own stuff, you can say, oh, this villain is actually a person who has some kind of tie to one of the players.
So another thing is you have the ability to, if you want to look at your overall outline, is you could have something, that is one full story arc where from the beginning to the end, you're dealing with one adversary and his minions and his plots, or you could have the small jumps where you deal with one problem, and then you can reach bigger and move on to another thing, and then move on to another thing, and each time that you move on to another storyline, the reach of said villain has a larger reach, a bigger impact, and therefore it needs more and more powerful enemies to go up against him. So therefore, as the adventurers gain level, they're able to take on bigger and better things. The secondary one, where you just keep moving from story arc to story arc, is better for people who might not have a buy-in for constantly fighting the same type of adversaries and staying in one locale. The first is one for those where everyone is going to buy in to a specific idea and they're all committed to being there for the long haul.
Yeah, it depends. Do you want to run more like Scooby-Doo adventures where you're always just solving new mysteries, or do you want to do Dragonlance Chronicles and it's one overarching plot line? From there, and then it's the kind of world you want to play. I mean, even with the overarching, there are ways to change it up and have different locales and different kinds of villains to face. But thematically, the end goal is this one big overarching story. Whether it's a war, whether it's just, whether you're just taking the ring to Mordor, whatever's going on, the theme is going to be kind of the same.
So, I would always mix up what's actually going on within the story. I would say no more than like 60% of the campaigns, or 60% of your sessions, need to be linked to what's actually your main plot thread. You're always going to need to have things that are total offshoots, things that are brought in by characters' wishes, things that are brought in by players' wishes, because they're not always going to be the same thing. So if you mix and match those type of things, you're going to have things that are happening in your game that your players and the characters are going to really enjoy, and you're going to be able to keep them coming back to the table and over and over.
As well as added on to Ted's, I would say if the players do something that alters the world, have that alteration affect them back by quests and different story arcs that occur simply because they've kind of changed the fate of an area.
Also, like, don't be afraid to change. Like, just because you start in one direction, it can go somewhere else, and you have to be okay with it. Like, otherwise, you're gonna shoot over your players and the stuff. Like, a good example would be like Ted's campaign started off with a theme in the beginning, it's been ongoing and been running through. And to, like as he said, like now he kind of envisions us possibly going to the abyss and fighting the blood lord himself, but or him getting summoned and us fighting him himself.
But if the players decide not to do that, well, then we can go in another direction. I'm totally open to the change. I hadn't envisioned that was going to be the culmination of the game until the players literally brought that to the table.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go with that next. And in my game, I really didn't have an overarching story when I started. It wasn't until I got inspired later on, from things in the game that happened, from things outside of the game that happened, and then the players, seemed to totally buy into that idea of this Vargarian menace and wanting to stop that. So, so like they were probably level 6 before that even came about.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like slowly came about.
It was small little things that we were exploring and finding out. And then it wasn't until, hey, this thing happened here that it became a real push and drive on the story. And even then, there were things where this isn't a pressing matter that we have to constantly be pushing up against. So it was definitely good pacing.
Yeah, it was a culmination of, Dragonborn are in the realm now and trapped here. Help them get home. And then they help them get home. And then, here's a Dragonborn place to explore. There's politics and things going on with the Dragonborn. Now some of the Dragonborn have become intertwined with this other threat or villain. And that's how it kind of like progressed. I kept it going. Because also, too, it would have been really easy for my Dragonborn characters to go, we've done what we wanted to do. Now we've gotten home. We don't have to adventure anymore. Right. But there was other things that kind of like kept pulling them in. So I think intern Kyle's yelling at us.
Silently. But
loudly. So it's time. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, all the links are in the description below. We want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for the support on Patreon. Thanks for liking, sharing our videos, checking out the website, all that good stuff. So until next time, stay nerdy.